again, it is spoil shed. It finishes Liverpool 1, Arsenal 1. For more on this, let's just take a look at the standings, shall we? What it means that Arsenal will be top for Christmas once again. 1 point clear of Liverpool and Villa. Spurs won earlier. We'll speak about that victory against Everton later on. Manchester City, of course, off winning the Club World Cup. They have a game in hand. In fact, a good week for them. When you take a look at the results and the way they could have gone, they are 6 points adrift of top spot, but they do have a game in hand. For more on this, Frank LeBoeuf, Gabriele Marcotti with us. We'll hear from the boys in a moment, but sometimes these games can prove to be a little anticlimactic. This was fun.
No, it was a good game. End to end, obviously, in contrast to last weekend when United sat in, which was not a surprise. A little bit lacking quality in the final third. Poor from Martinelli. I think at times from Arsenal's perspective, I thought Gomez got a hold. He struggled when he first came on, and then after that, I thought he did quite well with Saka. Jesus struggled a little bit up there. Obviously, Nunes didn't play.
Came on as a sub.
And I think we may see that with Gakpo or Jota when he's fit, playing as the false nine, and then it's whether Nunes will play off that left-hand side or maybe on the right side once Salah goes. There's a great battle in the middle of the park. I thought, from Arsenal's perspective, I thought Saliba and Declan Rice were their two best players. I thought Kanate was tremendous when needed for Liverpool. And it was evenly, and I just felt in the second half, maybe at the start, that crowd got behind Liverpool first 10 minutes of the second half and they got a little bit of a head of steam. But Arsenal managed to sort of quell that.
Yeah.
And obviously the big chance came from not brilliant play from Liverpool, but it came from, a comedy of errors on the edge of the box when Martin Odegaard got mixed up with, I don't know who it was, one of his own players, and then we just saw that chance there. But yeah, Arsenal lost at Villa last week and have now drawn, and United have drawn 2 in a row. So as you said, City, without really doing much, and I suppose Aston Villa drawn against Sheffield United yesterday, which was a big surprise. It's been, even though they did win the Club World Cup, which is very prestigious.
Yes.
In terms of the league, it's been a pretty good 7 days for them.
Gab, overall, will Liverpool be the slightly more disappointed of the two sides? They didn't get the win.
I think they will be because of the Odegaard decision, because of Alexander-Arnold hitting crossbar, because ultimately they were at home. However, on the flip side, I've been saying for a while that Liverpool were really far from their ceiling in terms of performance, and yet, they were at or near the top of the league despite not really firing in all cylinders. And I thought this game today, actually, Liverpool played much better than they have in recent weeks. And sure, they dropped 2 points, and it's going to feel like 2 points dropped. But if they can get to click as a team, maybe be less reliant on Mo Salah, especially after he goes away, I think they'll be in a really good place to challenge for the title.
As Craig mentioned, Saliba excellent once again. We know what happened when he went out injured last season, Frank. They're going to wrap him in cotton wool, aren't they?
Yeah, the guy is tremendous. I mean, he's even better than the last season. What I saw today, at some point, even when he had the ball, he was so clever. On the French television, they say, well, he should play alongside Odegaard as a number 10 because he knows exactly what to do with the ball. Defensively, the guy is so strong. Being helped by his teammates as well. I think we cannot forget that the others are working very hard as well, and Gabriel was very good. And the 4 centre-backs were very good today, I have to say. But I would have to maybe lower a little bit the Liverpool expectations, where maybe they would be frustrated after that game by drawing. The Arsenal has 4 clear chances in the first 15 minutes. As they scored, it would have been completely different. I don't know what would have happened to Liverpool, but I think it's Gabriel Jesus has a big one, and of course you have the goal, but you have so many chances in 15 minutes, which could have changed the game. Yes, of course there is a penalty for me. Yes, there is the TAA chance, but I don't know. Yeah, Arsenal can be also disappointed by their lack of scoring goals in the first 15 minutes.
When we talked about who is most likely to catch City, you've always said Arsenal over Liverpool. Does today confirm that?
I mean, there's not a lot between the sides. I just feel Arsenal are a more solid unit. I think if you were to put Declan Rice in that Liverpool side, make a heck of a difference.
Right.
Hell of a difference in there. But I think they're a little bit more solid. The full-back area is becoming an issue, particularly the left side. The striking area, and there's talk of Ivan Toney and others, but he's not played for months. That's still an issue. But I still think, for me, they're just slightly ahead. And I think when you look
can they win the league with Jesus up top?
Well, I think they can, but it will depend on what Man City do. If Man City keep faltering, they might not need to put together a tremendous run. Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? But I think it is a worry for... it's got to be a worry for Mikel Arteta. But one of the things I think about, we've been very critical about David Raya, myself in particular. You go away to Anfield, yeah, we saw that chance from Alexander-Arnold, but think about it. How many saves did he actually have to make at Anfield? I mean, Alisson wasn't exactly busy at the other end. I'll give you that. But bearing in mind they're the away side, David Raya wasn't exactly overworked. He was not, right? And I think that tells you how solid generally they are. I mean, there was a couple of hiccups that came their way, and a lot of that was down to Arsenal. The Alexander-Arnold chance was down to Arsenal on the edge of their own box. Declan Rice had to bail Zinchenko out when he tried to Cruyff turn in the first half. So a lot of it, 2 or 3 of the incidents were down to them more than what Liverpool created. Both sides have their flaws, but then so does City. So I just think it is very, very tight, and I sincerely hope that Aston Villa can stay in there just to muddy the waters. So unless City put a run together, which we keep saying, well, they're going to do it because they do it every year, I think it's looking more dubious this year that it's going to be as nailed on as it's been in the past. It's probably as open as it's been for quite a while, and that's
which is
good.
great. It's great for us, obviously. Gab, did we learn anything today about these 2 title chances?
Like I said, I think we learned that by the virtue of the fact that I thought Liverpool played better with more confidence than before. I think we know that Liverpool can get substantially better. And I think with Arsenal, what we learned is that they can defend very, very well, be really accomplished. I know we've been critical of their strikers in this game, but I think if Arsenal are to win the title, it's going to be, with games like that. You go away against another title contender and you come away with a point. This helps build confidence. This is still a very young team. I do kind of feel that if Arsenal are going to win the title, they're going to have to get some sort of major value add, either from Gabriel Jesus, maybe starting to become a bigger goal scorer this season, or maybe Kai Havertz comes good, or Odegaard returns to the level he was at last year. I think something like that probably needs to happen for Arsenal to win the title. But this is the least experience of these 3 contenders that we're talking about in terms of having been there and done that. And I think you can only take your hat off to Arteta. This is still a work in progress.
Frank, how much of a definitive statement is this from Liverpool and indeed from Jurgen Klopp that one of the biggest games of the season and you don't start Nunez?
Well, it's a choice, and I mean, Nunez. We mentioned the lack of goal that he has, and I understand that you want to have maybe the players that you think was going to score more than him. I defended him last time when I say I might become the player that we're all expecting him to be, but right now he's not, and the 3 at front that Klopp put out, I think it was only fine for me, and we could expect something. I'm worried that Salah is going to be missing. That's, for me, the turning point for Liverpool. But otherwise, Nunez came on. I didn't see anything special. I didn't see a change of maybe rhythm, of more chances for Liverpool. No, I didn't see that. But we're going to see when Salah is going to be out, that is going to be missed, and I think a lot.
Now, if Egypt go all the way through to the AFCON final, let's just take a look at the games that they're going to miss. These are the league games, by the way. Obviously, there's some cup matches thrown in there as well. We're at Bournemouth, home with Chelsea, away at Arsenal, and then at home against Burnley.
Who knows?
Yeah, it is a little bit of a lottery, isn't it? But I think the definitive, he's going to be missed. There's no argument. You can't spin it any other way.
No, you can't. And look, I've always said they have a good stable of attacking players to pick from, but they're going to have to step up. They're going to have to step up, and Diego Jota's to come back. And we know he always gets his quota of goals from and he could end up playing. I think he will end up playing as the false nine ahead of Cody Gakpo, to be honest. And then I think we'll see Núñez getting some game time in one of the wider positions, and maybe Luis Diaz will switch to the right. We saw a little glimpse of that in the Carabao Cup against West Ham when he started Núñez on the left-hand side. So I think we got a little glimpse into Klopp's mindset that, when Liverpool was successful, Roberto Firmino, you wouldn't call him an out-and-out striker. He's a guy who got his quota of goals, wasn't a natural goal scorer, but was very good with his link-up play, his dropping off and his work rate. And so Klopp likes that kind of player. So that's what we might end up seeing. And I think today what he wanted to do, and I'm only surmising, is that he didn't want somebody just matching up with Gabriel and Saliba in a one-on-one battle because they would probably win.
Right.
That he wanted somebody that was going to try and make them think a little bit differently with their movement by dropping into those holes. It's just the two of them are defending really well. And obviously they got Declan Rice in front. But the answer is when Salah goes, others will have to step up. And that's when you're looking from goals from the middle of the park as well.